Luke, I was talking to a guy the other day, and one of the questions he was asking, he had some seats on his boat that were kind of damaged, right? And he was wondering whether it's better for him to replace those seats and buy a new one or try to repair those existing seats. I know that's something that you just undertook a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. So I think when you're doing that, it's common to just kind of call an upholstery guy and be like, hey, my seats are ripped. Can you fix them? And a lot of times they'll go, yep, we can do this. They'll give you a consultation, whatever. Not a lot of times do you think about just totally replacing them. And honestly, I went down that path, the traditional path. I found an upholstery guy, and good, reputable shop. I just think that when you fix something on a boat, it doesn't always, especially with upholstery, it doesn't always last as long as the original. You see the same thing with carpet. Guys read, their carpet on their bass boat will last 20 years. And then they redo it themselves, or they have somebody redo it and it lasts 5 years.
So was there a significant cost difference between the two?
So what I went through and what I did is this guy quoted me out, I believe it was like $500 to fix my seats. That was a little bit of, some of the foam was exposed to the elements a little bit, so he had to replace some of the foam, then covered over it with the, the vinyl that they use for boat seats. So, in retrospect, I could have gotten a set of 3 brand new bass boat seats for about $100, maybe $150 more than what I paid to just have mine reupholstered.
Which is nice. I mean, the nice thing for you is you have that option. I know, Matt, that on our side with boat outfitters, that's not always the option. You can't call Key West and get a brand new bow cushion or, and so that might be a going through the dealer, or what do you generally tell people? The being able to buy a brand new one is really nice, but that's not.
I think the other thing too, it wasn't an exact OEM replacement. I didn't call up Triton and go, hey, I need 3 new seats.
Right.
I just went and my bad for doing this after the fact, but doing a little bit of research. Whoa, this seat is this size and can fit exactly in the same spot, and it's only 4 screws. Mm-hmm. And I could have taken my old seats out and put these right in there, brand new.
Right. And that's a good way to go. I mean, going back to the manufacturer, in some cases is an option, some cases it isn't, right? Sometimes you're working on an old boat, you're restoring an old boat, and you still need the upholstery. You might only have the option of going to a custom upholstery shop with templates, right?
But and we've got some out of the box seating too, right? We offer some out of the box seating on the site.
And I think that, that's a really good option, like what Luke is talking about. That's the way you decided to go with your bass boat. And I mean, in my experience, we've had to replace the upholstery on our boat one time, and we're probably coming up on it again here soon. And I'm kind of dreading the idea of having to go back to the manufacturer and say, hey, I need a whole new round of upholstery, right? Bow cushion, backrest on the console, leaning post seat and backrest, flip up seats in the back. I mean, it adds up quick when you got to go.
And for you, are you going back to the manufacturer Everglades in that case and ordering seats, or are you going to a local upholstery shop? How have you guys handled it in the past?
So in the past, we were lucky enough that they started to fail early, and they covered some of the replacement costs for us, which made sense for us to go back to Everglades at that time. The boat was still relatively new. At this point, we're probably we might consider looking at an upholsterer, but what I find is the foam starts to degrade, right? And that's part of the challenge and the reason why they don't last as long. You can go to a reupholsterer and they'll recover it for you, but the foam is still the same foam that's 15 years old at this point. And
which is another thing. Don't wait. If you have a crack or you have a hole in your seat, get it fixed as soon as possible, because when it gets wet in there, that foam just starts kind of compress and get nasty, and it's like.
And you've got to think a lot of these upholstery guys, back to your point, when he replaced that foam for you, these local upholstery guys are probably not sourcing high-end foam that's made to be out in the marine space. They're probably buying a run-of-the-mill, what they can get their hands on. You'd think that at an OEM, they're able to really dial in from their suppliers what is going to last. And I can see that being a thing. I've got this good for a car, but not fully exposed, and that can start to deteriorate over the years as well.
Right. Right.